Evening and welcome. It's just been over 24 hours since the fate of the NDA alliance there in Bihar was sealed. Introspection must begin, and it has. In moments from now, a meeting is going to take place in New Delhi, where the entire BJP top brass, including its party chief as well as the Prime Minister, will be sitting down to figure out exactly what went wrong. This is a live shot from the BJP headquarters, where several of the secretaries of the party, the MPs from Bihar, have already begun to gather to examine exactly what went wrong. The question for a party that, let us not forget, has an emphatic mandate at the center which is yet to become rusty, it's only 18 months old, has an emphatic mandate of an alliance in Maharashtra, in Haryana, in Jharkhand, even in Jammu. Unprecedented steps have been taken, but when something goes wrong, will it have the magnanimity for course correction, which a great national political party must? That's the question we are examining. Joining us on the broadcast right now, Kartikeya Sharma, my colleague, is there outside the BJP headquarters where this meeting is taking place. He's keeping an eye on the ground of what exactly is taking place over there. With me in the studios, Chandan Yadav representing the Congress party, Aijaz Ilmi representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, and Priya Sehgal, of course, our senior executive editor. Kartikeya, let me kick it off with you. What's going to happen in this meeting, Kartikeya? Who are these people who are showing up, and what within 24 hours can they actually come up with other than a list of explanations which the opposition will call our excuse?
No, I see this is a basic stock-taking meeting which is happening. Half of it is for public consumption, that the BJP has really got back and, taking an account of as to what happened, who did what, and whether the mistake took place in Delhi, or was it number of serious or tactical mistakes which took place in Bihar, or was it because of certain other issues. Obviously, Amit Shah, before this meeting, has clarified that the RSS chief reservation comment is not an issue. So we can keep that out of our debate, He has already clarified on that. So I think the Patriarch's comment on reservation has been made a non-issue. So obviously, it's not going to be part of the repertoire inside. But yes, there is a pressure which BJP feels, because the sort of performance which was part and parcel of BJP's demeanor after 2014 Lok Sabha election has evaporated, starting from Delhi. And I think that should worry them. They should take stock of it. And a lot of people are speaking about Amit Shah. They're not going to talk about him, but these are the issues they need to settle.
Okay. Aijaz Ilmi, you represent the party. And all caveats have been drawn by me at the top of the broadcast to a viewer. You are a party in control at the center with a mandate that is historic, hasn't been done in the past almost 30 years. No one's taking that away from the BJP. But when something has gone wrong and a course correction is required, what is the course correction that can be looked forward to? BJP. But when something has gone wrong and a course correction is required, what is the course correction that can be looked forward to?
Well, it's very evident that within 24 hours, the entire senior leadership of the party is meeting, and we are all discussing this very fact that stock taking is happening, introspection is happening, and course correction is required, which has been said by very, very eminent people in the party and our workers. It's very evident. The fact that we are not like a family-run private corporation like the Congress party or many other parties is a very, very welcome sign in democracy. And I'm very happy that our own party is taking this action. We hope for tangible results which can reflect on the ground. Sometimes decisions are sluggish, but if in the end we can come up with a mechanism where we can pin the blame or actually course correct ourselves to get back to our original agenda of development, then we've done a great job.
But can you, Mr. Ilmi, because knowing the aphorism that with great power comes great responsibility, can you offer in this defeat a refreshing alternative?
Absolutely.
Can you offer us a refreshing alternative to the people and your voters, sir, but actually coming out and being honest? This is what we got wrong. These are the people who got it wrong. These are the people who are being taken to task about it.
No.
Or will we get a reading out of political excuses, sir?
I agree with you. Decisions and responsibility can't be fixed on individuals by how prone your spine is or how supine you are. You have to understand the party functions collectively, and yes, decisions and decision-making authorities, if something went wrong, how it went wrong, every leader had responsibilities of 2 or 3 districts. They have to come to terms of how many seats they won, where they went wrong, who delivered, what statements impacted them. Any deviation from development, how much it hurt us, all these things have to be delved into. It's not a 24-hour exercise, but the fact that it has begun in 24 hours is a welcome sign.
Okay, before I get a response from Chandan Yadav, who I'm sure will ought to make issue with you, Mr. Ilmi, Priya Sehgal, sum this up for us. Is this an opportunity to offer a refreshing alternative? And from the pulse, the indications that we've seen thus far, and which have not been promising, I can add, do we see that? Do we see that happening?
No, we don't see that happening, Rishabh. And the first indication is, the fact that nobody has really come forward to take some sort of responsibility. At the end of the day, we saw not a national leader, but a local leader, Sushil Modi, come and do that press conference yesterday, talking about the loss. This is something it jars, because on the narrative, when you went to Bihar, you saw the posters. Sushil Modi was nowhere there. It was only Narendra Modi, and there was Amit Shah. Plus, there was this whole huge cavalcade of national leaders flying in to address rallies. They were the VIPs really of that election. So nobody of that stature comes forward and talks to the media, takes responsibility, or at least says, yes, something has gone wrong, we will introspect. All that is not happening. We had just so far, Ram Madhav has come out, I think, Rishabh, so far.
Yes,
that's
yes,
about it.
yes. Kartikeya Sharma, before I come to Chandan Yadav. Kartikeya, we are at a pass where a correction can't be made in Bihar right now. It's too late. The elections are over. The results have come out. Can a corrective push to change the discourse be approached from the center?
When Prime Minister does an intensive campaign like this, there is a way you overexpose yourself. You overexpose yourself in front of a strategy. You overexpose yourself in front of a charge, and then overexposure in terms of campaign and silence on certain issues which were national but became local. And let me tell you, there is nothing called national issue or a local issue. Because of the way natural technologies like mobile phone have evolved, local becomes national and national becomes local. Look at the case of Akhlaq, and look at the case of that ad which was there in the local editions of Simanchal.
Yes.
It acquired a national proportion.
Okay,
so
Sushma Swaraj arriving at the BJP headquarters.
BJP
Okay, Sushma Swaraj walking in, other top leaders also arriving one by one at the BJP headquarters. That meeting is going to commence any moment. We're keeping this live shot on your screens because the Prime Minister is also expected to attend. Chandan Yadav, a line has been set by the government at the center. They've said very clearly and emphatically after the CCPA meeting, Venkaiah Naidu has come out and said that, look, we've lost Bihar. But this mandate is not a mandate for your party to start disrupting Parliament and making issue at the center. So will you not do that then?
Yes, sir. What you are saying, they not only failed to read the pulse rate of Bihar, but they also failed to control the pulse rate outside. And you think it's not an issue? Mehegai is not an issue? They came back to power in Parliament on the issue of Mehegai and Bhrashtachar, and you say we are not going to raise all this issue of pulse rate?
No,
So
you're
this is
welcome
an
to
issue.
raise the pulse, but I'm talking about the pulse of
No,
Bihar.
I'm
It is
talking
not
about
an
this.
issue for you, an excuse for you to disrupt Parliament, sir.
The Parliament is a place to debate upon. The fact of the matter is our Prime Minister doesn't believe in parliamentary democracy. I can give you a lot of examples from his Gujarat, as a Gujarat Chief Minister. Not even 15% of
Okay,
the
breaking
assemblies
news.
has
I've got
taken
breaking
place.
news. I'm sorry, I'll come back to you, sir, in just 10 seconds. Breaking news. Kartikeya has got some breaking developments coming in. Kartikeya, go ahead.
What I wanted to say is that the meeting has already begun. Now these people are pouring in. They're waiting for the Prime Minister to be there, who's the last person to be arrived because the President is going to welcome him. The whole Jingbang has assembled inside. But I would like to complete my argument, Rishabh. You see, what Narendra Modi did was to make a huge tactical error, not once but twice. And I think this is the same tactical error under hubris national leaders make. If you remember, in 2012, Rahul Gandhi had extensively campaigned in UP. He made it into an issue of pride, and UP was lost. Subsequently, when the elections took place, like when the Karnataka was won by the Congress party, when they won Himachal, Rahul Gandhi was not seen campaigning. So his individual might was not tied to the state. What BJP did was to tie the might of the Prime Minister with his ability to
And
garner
will
votes.
that be the
You can't
course
do
of
that
action?
throughout India. It's too
Because let's be
complex, it's too
reasonable.
large. And it's
Let's be reasonable, and every discerning viewer can feel empathy with this. How much can one man do? Running a country is a full-time job. How much can one man do? He has come a long way, but how much can he do? Something other finish your thought.
See, the idea is
It's also for one person to realize how much he
I'll
can
just come
do.
back to Karthik. Let Chandan finish, then Ajaz Ilmi wants to come in.
See, I guess one point we are not discussing. You know, the Prime Minister, as Priya rightly said, they did not project any chief ministerial candidate. And I hope all the panelists and Rishabh, you'll also agree that there was no leader matching Nitish Kumar's stature. That's a fact that I guess Ilmi will also agree to it. Now they think Modi is their best bet. So after Bihar election, one thing is very clear, and I guess all of us will agree that Modi's magic is over in 18 months.
No, look.
No. Second point. Hold on. Now, the people of Bihar or people of India is sending a message. Modi ji, our dear Prime Minister, you perform or you perish.
Okay, I'll
you
take-
deliver
I'll
on your
take the
promises.
reasonable
You
argument.
control Mehegai. You control Bhrashtachar. You are
take
selective
the
on your
reasonable
Bhrashtachar
argument that
action. You
performance-
are not taking action against your own chief minister. But Bihar
Something
minister
other.
is
Let's
taking money or speaking on it.
let's invite.
And also, your Lok Sabha, I again repeat, you started with the chai par charcha, which was resonating. And now, after 18 months, you asking people for a guy per charcha.
Okay,
You know, we
so
can't
let me
write
say
the
one.
epitaph.
Okay, hang on. Something other made a point. Priya, I want to give Ajaz a chance also.
No, actually you cannot write the epitaph of the Prime Minister on
No,
just
I'm
the
not.
Bihar
I
elections.
said I did not. I'm not asking his
Okay,
resignation. The people of
Okay.
India has elected him for 5 years.
Okay, let
But
somebody
what
else
I said is,
Okay.
remember, if
We heard
BJP
what you
would
said,
have
no,
won.
no, it's our turn to
But
speak.
if
Okay,
BJP
okay,
would have
Chandan,
won,
hang
would have
on,
said,
hang on.
Moji man.
Let
You
Ajaz
had your
magic
say
is
in
there.
Bihar also, Chandan. Hang on, Priya second.
Yeah. No, the whole point is that the lesson that the BJP really is learning that Modi should be there, but the second man next to Modi should not have just been Amit Shah. It should have been some other local leaders also. Have your Modi, Amit Shah combined, but also, you know, there's a huge poster, crowd some other faces also over there. Collective leadership, local leadership, that's the lesson they should have learned from Delhi when they got an outsider there, Bahari there. Again, the Bahari thing happened in Bihar also.
Okay, so there
that's
is
the big
there is a
lesson.
logic to
Look
that,
within
and,
your
and
own
the logic
border.
can be reasonable. Without being jaded and shaded with politics, the logic can be reasonable. Ajaz Ilmi, you have an onerous responsibility, at least your party does, of running this country, sir. It's not an easy job, but you've been asked by this country's people to do it. Now you have the prospect of an invigorated opposition. Ranks when it comes to parliament coming up in about 2 weeks' time, sir. Is it time to just change a little bit of philosophy and hold out a hand to have a conversation?
You know, Rishabh, I always look at it slightly differently. The mandate is not about political power alone. It's the responsibility and the fact that the BJP will not, the Prime Minister, who's seen and fought and got this mandate primarily to effect change, would not like to squander away the mandate because of state elections or because of an energized opposition. Yes, we look to the Prime Minister, who's seen and fought and got this mandate primarily to effect change, would not like to squander away the mandate because of state elections or because of an energized opposition. Yes, we look to work with the opposition, but the responsibility of the mandate to effect changes in life of 125 crore Indians, the primacy of that cannot be denied and run away from.
I does
It's a
agree.
responsibility that has to be lived up to.
I in premise would agree, and several of our viewers would agree with the point also. Chandan Yadav, hold on, you had your say. Just I want to let Ajaz to speak also. But it's becoming an issue to get several of these reforms delivered. There is a political and parliamentary necessity to engage with the opposition, even though the opposition is not being the nicest with you right now, and it should not be. Its job is completely the opposite. But given that, an effort of a compromise, we haven't seen it at all, Ajaz. Why not?
You know, despite blackmail and obstruction of parliament, I agree with you. It is incumbent on our government, on the ruling party, to effect these changes by reaching out to all sections and all the stakeholders within parliament. with all various reforms which are integral and imperative and are needed right now for the economy of this country have to be effected in whichever manner. So it is imperative on us to reach out to the opposition.
Okay, Karthikeya, several issues of delivery for this government, and I'll just pick on one. As this meeting is going on, OROP notified literally on Sunday evening, on Saturday evening in fact, OROP was notified, we broke it first on this channel. That could have been a big deliverable for this government, but it didn't come across as such. It came across as a stretched out, almost pulled out from the government,
yes.
and perhaps will that approach change now post facto?
I think OROP was completely mishandled. There's no doubt about it, Rishabh. You can't elaborate on it any further as to why it was mishandled. But I think Priya made a very good point, and it needs to be explored further. And when Priya was talking about the style, and when Priya was talking about a local leader, you have to look into the evolution of Bharatiya Janata Party. What was it? It was collegium of lot of big leaders who came from states. Rajnath Singh himself was a state leader. Sundar Lal Patwa was a state leader. And these leaders were accommodated. Sahib Singh Verma, Madan Lal Khurana, Murli Manohar Joshi. They all came from different states, and I can just go on and on and on. And it was a collegium there. So right now what is there is not the real DNA of BJP. BJP is about lot of leaders at top, and you have a collegium, and then the presidency
Okay,
gets
just hang
rotated.
on.
Suddenly the model at the top has changed.
Just hang on. Chandan Yadav, I will ask you the question. Hang on. Priya wants to
No,
come. Go ahead.
exactly. What Karthik is saying is the same point. The fact is that, then suddenly, after all these regional leaders, there was a whole talk of BJP being controlled by leaders from Delhi. This whole, at the time when Rajnath also became a Delhi leader, Lutyens Delhi kind of a leadership. So that is what people are saying, that Modi should not get bogged down into that scenario, but he should get back to him, because Modi was originally known as a regional leader. He was the Gujarat king, that Samrat that came to, Delhi. So he should bring that model of governance really, instead of being bogged down by the Lutyens Delhi kind of governance.
Okay,
That's,
But Rishabh,
but hang on, Chandan, because I will take a question with you after this.
adding on to what
No, the thing is, I don't want you to join the analyst ranks. I will take a question with you on this. Karthikeya, before I go to Ejaz and take a specific question with him also, Karthikeya, this meeting is being held. Is being held for a purpose of making a statement also to the people of this country that the BJP is capable of introspecting and course correcting. But what do we expect beyond this? Beyond tomorrow, looking into the day after? Because it doesn't suit the BJP right now to keep on examining Bihar and coming out with some kind of report on analysis of Bihar. Can they just look ahead completely?
I think, as I said, that there is nothing local and there is nothing national. National becomes local and local becomes national because of technologies. I think Prime Minister might do a rejig. What the PM needs to do is, and actually the buck stops with him, is to send a message. And the message should be about your privacy, your right to eat whatever you want to at your residence, or the position on cultural tolerance. I think he needs to give a clear message, and the priority should be the winter session. Because if winter session goes haywire, then I think a lot of things will be affected.
Okay. Ejaz Ilmi, hang on. Ejaz Ilmi, you don't have a brief, sir, to inform us whether a cabinet reshuffle is going to take place next week. That is the Prime Minister's brief and prerogative. But I can ask you a question. As a man who is representing the Bharatiya Janata Party, as live shots are coming in of the Prime Minister arriving there at the BJP headquarters, flanked by the SPG over there, you're going to see him being greeted by the party president. There will be, of course, the standard bouquet of flowers that is given, and he will be entering the BJP headquarters there for this meeting now to officially kick off. It's going on right on schedule. 4 o'clock, all the leaders were there, and 4:15, there you see Prime Minister Narendra Modi entering the BJP headquarters. There's Amit Shah, there's the bouquet of flowers. There are smiles for the cameras, and yes, they're making a small effort to be around long enough for the cameras to record those smiles. A second bouquet of flowers coming in. I can't quite spot the individual. Nadda, JP Nadda, there we go. So several bouquets of flowers and smiles, yes, because they have something to smile about. Perhaps not every of it lies in Bihar, and the meeting kicks off. Ejaz Ilmi, as I was suggesting, it's not your brief, sir, to decide for the cabinet or for the government. You're a party spokesperson, but as a party spokesperson, let me ask you this. Is it reasonable to suggest that several of your party leaders, some of them senior, some very junior, who have broken away from the Prime Minister's messaging, have hurt your party, sir?
Unequivocally, yes. It has hurt the image of the Prime Minister and his development agenda. Hate remarks, bigoted remarks have had an impact, not only in the elections, but over the last 3-4 months, the discourse has changed. We have not been able to counter the messaging. Our clarity has been found wanting. Some of us have come out clearly, but by and large, the response has been muted and muddled. We need to be clear that any deviation will only hurt the party and the image of the government. It's important to take corrective measures and get back and work for all sections of society.
Okay. Chandan Yadav, your party has a cause in this country right now. And that cause has been defined by your party vice president as tolerance. And we understand that this is going to become the hot issue, pardon the pun, in the parliament session as well. If with due conscionability, the BJP does take action on the issue of its own rogue speakers, if I can say, will your party at least have the due grace of suggesting that yes, a Prime Minister has not only spoken out on the issue, but he has acted upon it, and hence this chapter at least should close?
You know, but if BJP representative Ilmi Sahab will be able to give one example of the action, I can give you 10 examples. All these leaders are being rewarded for their divisive remarks. You know, I remember one of through your sources, I guess media sources, they were issued show cause notice, they were given a dress rehearsal, and while coming out of the meetings, they flatly denied, no, I mean, we were not told anything. See, what I'm saying is, who led the parliament? The Prime Minister gave the responsibility to debate on the communal bill to Yogi Adityanath. Sadhvi Prachi or all those leaders, Sanjeev Balyan or Mahesh Sharma, their ministers, VK Singh, they're all ministers of this cabinet. Forget, I'm not talking about an activist. They're the leaders, they're the ministers.
Okay.
And they are speaking on
Okay.
those
So let me pick on that point.
And the fact of the matter is, I mean, I don't remember, and I'm sure Ilmi ji also knows this fact, not a single hates have been
Okay,
known.
let me pick on that
So
point.
how- who's
Let
going
me
to believe this Prime
let me
Minister?
hang on, Chandan. Let
In
me
fact,
pick on that point
ministers
before I
of
go
the
back. Chandan
Leaders
Yadav-
are being honored.
Hang on, Mr. Yadav, hang on, sir. Before I go back to Ejaz Ilmi, Priya Saigal wants to make a point. Priya Saigal, go ahead.
No, to say something from what Ejaz has said, a message that has come today. Today, Arun Jaitley has spoken out and said that on GST bill, he would like to come and meet the people, the leaders of opposition from both the houses. And he in fact said the people who are accessible to him. The problem, as we all know, is that the Congress leadership, that Sonia and Rahul Gandhi, are not accessible. They don't like to meet anybody else. So the Congress is also to blame for stalling some of
So
these
we will
bills.
examine that. We will examine that in just a bit. Hang on. I have a question for Ejaz Ilmi. Ejaz Ilmi, and I appreciate, for the sake of our viewers, Ejaz Ilmi, that you cannot prejudge what is being discussed in this meeting. You cannot also tell us what the conclusion of the meeting will be. This is what your party high command will have to come and brief you on once the meeting has concluded. But given that, having said that, if you are saying with quite confidence, Ejaz, and if I can read into that your party and the people you speak to within the party also are of the opinion that the hotheads have gotten out of hand, why has the BJP for so long been so shy in taking them on? The Prime Minister has said a few things, but as Chandan Yadav was pointing out, when it came to reprimands, there weren't any public reprimands. It was a man. Why has the BJP for so long been so shy in taking them on? The Prime Minister has said a few things, but as Chandan Yadav was pointing out, when it came to reprimands, there weren't any public reprimands. It was a meeting that was called that coincidentally seemed to have all the hotheads in it. As far as we saw it in plain speak, that's all that happened.
You are correct. You are absolutely correct. And Chandan Saab, what he said right now. But let me tell Chandan Saab that Sadhvi Prachi, we don't hold a brief for her. She is not a member of the party. But yes, our MLAs, our workers, our ministers, and some of their statements, which have been irresponsible, infuriating, have... Chandan, can you let me speak, please, Chandan?
Go ahead, go ahead. He's giving you space. Go ahead.
The irresponsible statements or infuriating statements which have not been appreciated by anybody. The party has taken a decision that we cannot deviate from the course of agenda, and the narrative can't be lost to motor mouths or the fringe elements within our own party. So if they're affecting and impacting the image of our own party and our own messaging and our own development agenda, then it's incumbent on the party to be very, very firm and clear that you have to follow the discipline of the party. Otherwise,
But your
the
party
will
hasn't
take
been
action
that firm or clear, na?
whenever they deem fit.
What about your co-ad?
I agree with you. I agree with you that what the answer for that, we have to answer the Election Commission, and we expect an answer. I must tell you that.
Okay, shots coming in. Ajay, just hold your thought for a few seconds. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Shots coming in of inside the BJP headquarters. This is the parliamentary board. Is how this collective, this collegium of the BJP is described, with the Prime Minister, of course, I'm presuming being given an agenda for the meeting and a list of attendees. All the top brass is there, as you can imagine. I can spot from Rajnath Singh to, of course, well, we spotted Shivraj Chauhan also is all there, Sushma Swaraj, of course, sitting over there, Nitin Gadkari, all the top leadership, JP Nadda of the BJP, the parliamentary board, Venkaiah Naidu, you see, sitting on the right side, and one can presume, of course, that he will be there also. So clearly, this is the meeting that's going on underway right now. There will be, we understand, a press statement after this meeting concludes. We are not sure who exactly will be giving the press statement, whether it will be a party spokesperson. Right now, we are made to believe it's a party spokesperson, but we don't know if that could end up being one of the ministers of government. Ajaz Ilmi, finish your thought.
Well, I'm very happy that we have a stock-taking, a comprehensive exercise happening so soon, and the parliamentary board sitting to discuss the results and analyze the various reasons for our defeat. No defeat is shocking. We are getting clear mandates and clear verdicts in this country in every election, so one has to acknowledge that. The reality is that where we went wrong or why we went wrong and what happened for campaign can only be discussed by senior leaders, which we are seeing. Stock taking is a very positive sign.
Okay, there is an issue here, and if Karthikeya is still with me, Karthikeya, a party with confidence is most likely to reach out and course correct, on a party which is slightly on the defensive right now. There's a mindset which matters at this very specific point of time.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. You know, Rishabh, sometimes parties do course correction under pressure. Like, for example, Pawan Bansal's resignation and that of Ashwini Kumar took place under pressure. But sometimes when parties are doing well, they also do course correction. And we have seen that after the Lok Sabha one was won by the Congress party, there were certain institutional changes that Sonia Gandhi did, which subsequently were described as robbing Prime Minister of his power and his ability to make the change. But certain changes take place, either in power or out of power. But in this case, specifically, course correction is required from the top. And this is about, I would say, not about people. It is about issues. How do you manage a perception? People voted for Narendra Modi for governance, ridding the country of corruption, and giving a clean administration, keeping economy healthy. Your manufacturing is all 20 months low. Your prices of tuar dal is high. You know, the vegetable prices are out of control. And on top of it, when you have these cultural issues, it really spoils the atmosphere. It touches everyone, you know. I think the jokes on social media defines it. You know, it's not food governance, it's not good governance, it's food governance. I think government really needs to change the perception that they're not interested in this, which is like wasting people's time, but the brass tacks which is running the country.
But how do you change the discourse? It is the job of the media, it is the job of the opposition parties, it is the job of public analysts to hold the government to account. The government of the day always faces the maximum number of critique because the responsibility lies with them. How do you then, as the government of the day, without getting into gimmickry, Priya Sehgal or these magnanimous ad spends, change your discourse?
So I think the governance, if you change the discourse, you have to not just govern but be seen to be governing also. So your first imperative should be the GST, because if you look at all the bills that are pending in Parliament, the GST is one that can easily be, there can be consensus on it, because this is the Congress's bill at the end of the day. So and it's also an economic bill. It's a bill that people of the country do want passed. They will hold anybody who obstructs it. If the government manages the media, manages the perception well, they can create an atmosphere that this is, they can educate people on the goodness of it, why it's so imperative. Arun Jaitley began that this morning. I saw his statement. He said it's good for Bihar. He started hitting out at the BJP's most vulnerable point. So that kind of damage control, if you start pushing for legislation, that matters. Don't go in for your trophy bills. Don't go in for this cultural
okay, but
stuff
then
that
here comes the onion. Here comes the onion, which is of course a non-cooperative opposition which sees no credit to itself to let the government succeed in changing the discourse. Chandan Yadav, you might not like their politics, but we must all put India first, sir. We have to talk about growth and governance because there's 600 million people younger than you and me, Chandan, who need jobs.
See, as Priya rightly said, GST is our brainchild. Like many other schemes which Prime Minister has renamed and repackaged it. So why we will oppose it? Because they have made some changes to our bill. And as an opposition party, as you rightly said, we think it is not in the interest of the people in our country. So we're opposing that. The same way, they said they wanted to, brought ordinance on this land acquisition bill. We said nothing doing. This will harm the interest of the farmers and the poor people of this country.
Okay, I'm looking for reason. Okay, I'm looking for reason. By reason, I mean not an excuse or reason as in reasonableness. Can we be reasonable that on certain important reforms, if the government, and I understand your critique is of your party men, several whom I have spoken to in the past few months have suggested that there has been no move whatsoever by the government to have a conversation. If the government changes tack, is willing to engage, have a conversation, will you in reasonableness at least the important bills accede to?
And that's our constitutional responsibility as an opposition party, Rishabh. And we will fulfill our constitutional responsibility. There is no doubt and debate about it. But at the same time, you remember, we helped this government pass some important crucial insurance bill.
But it's the
Was
but
it
that
not
is
passed
always
in the
damning.
parliament? We have heard this government pass many bills, and instead, when we were in power, they installed all these bills. Why not questioning them?
Okay.
It is their
We have.
practice. In fact, we are raising some important vital points in the interest of the people of this country, and BJP needs to address this.
Okay, we have. Okay, Karthike, whatever might be discussed here and whatever promises that might be made of cooperation both by the BJP and the Congress and the government, there might be hope from the government ranks that a little bit of hand holding and an outstretched arm might be greeted with a handshake, but that is being slightly naive. Most likely, there's going to be chaos in Parliament on tolerance. Given that, if Parliament is again stuck, is there any alternative that this government has to change the discourse, Karthik?
There are 2 points I would like to touch upon, Rishabh. Yes, first answering your question. The reason why this deadlock continues, Rishabh, is that there is bitterness between Modi and Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi was leader of opposition, but there was no bitterness with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Despite the fact that the Babri Masjid was demolished, there was no bitterness between Vajpayee and Narasimha Rao. In Parliament, you are political opponents, you are not enemies. The relationship between Gandhis and Modis have come down to being enemy of each other. That really needs to be out of the equation. And second thing is, numbers do not give you stability in Parliament, and I think that's the message BJP has learned. Despite having numbers, the governments go lame duck completely because they don't have the goodwill. Rajiv Gandhi's government went lame duck despite 400 members because there was a charge of Bofors. And despite the fact that Manmohan Singh had more members in Parliament in UPA 2,
Okay,
it
Ajaz
was
wants to come
unstable. And UPA 1 was more stable.
Okay, Ajaz wants to come in. I have a question for you, Ajaz.
Despite the number, and because of lack of goodwill, despite the fact that Manmohan Singh had more members in Parliament in UPA 2,
Okay,
it
Ajaz
was
wants to come
unstable.
in.
And UPA 1 was more stable.
Okay, Ajaz wants to come in. I have a question for you, Ajaz.
Despite the number, and because of lack of goodwill, the government is going lame duck.
Okay,
and that should worry
just hang on,
everyone.
Karthike. Ajaz wants to come in. Before that, Priya Sehgal, when you talk about enmity, when tolerance march, whatever you might want to call it, is the Congress's exercise of walking the 1 mile up Rajpath. Simultaneously, a BJP is holding a press conference on Robert Vadra. There is clarity that this is a strategic thing. It's not incidental, it's strategic.
Absolutely, Rishabh. And you know, the whole fact is, it's not arithmetic, it's also chemistry that's going to run the house. And I agree with Kartik, the chemistry between the Prime Minister and the Congress leadership is at an all-time low. You know, there are no bonhomie, there are no phone calls. You know, all these things take to build up equations. You know,
Yes.
for instance, let me just put in a point. Sharad Pawar is having his birthday a big celebration on the 12th. He cannot get Sonia Gandhi and Prime Minister Modi to attend together on the same dais.
Okay.
Now, when that kind of badwill is existing, then how can you talk on issues that really matter? So you need
Okay.
to fix the small things before you fix the big ones.
Okay,
Rishabh, before
okay,
you
hang
go
on,
to
Chandan.
India,
Chandan,
just 10
Ajaz,
seconds.
okay, Ajaz,
Just 10
I have
Let him
plenty of
speak.
time. There is
Yeah,
plenty of time. Ajaz Ilmi has been wanting to come in. Let's give him some space and I'll come back. We have plenty of time. We're not going anywhere. This meeting is going to go on for one would presume a length of time. Ajaz Ilmi, you've been wanting to come in, but let me ask you a question, sir. When it comes to building a bit of the chemistry which is required to get the job done, in the end, this country is not really interested in your politics, sir. We want you to get the job done and deliver for us, which is why we've gotten the mandate on that hope. Will you be, sir, willing to get the job done at whatever might be the cost of pride, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely yes, because like I said to you earlier, the mandate and the responsibility doesn't mean squandering it away. So the government has to get the job done. If it requires a personal rapport and reach out by leaders in the BJP across, it should be undertaken in the best interest. I agree with Priya that sometimes the arithmetic, obviously it has to be replaced by personal political chemistry, because that's how the functioning of Parliament has been there over the years. Being abrasive and inimical and animosity prevalent at all given times will only obstruct the House further. So on that point I agree. Secondly, the responsibility to deliver is of the BJP government and the NDA government, and there's no shying away. Every crisis is also a potential opportunity, and that's how every right-thinking political party.
Let's
like
see
the
if you
BJP
can make the
thinks.
opportunity out of this. Ajaz, stay with me. Before I give Chandan Yadav a chance to respond, several people have spoken out, including this one statement from Venkaiah Naidu after the Cabinet Committee meeting on Parliamentary Affairs, and it was very telling. It spoke about the Bihar verdict and what the prospect of that could have on Parliament, and he said very simply that this is not a mandate for disruption. Should it or is it? Let's listen into all the reaction that have come in, then I'll give Chandan Yadav a chance to respond.
को जोर से फैलाया गया और एक उसी समय पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कुछ नेताओं ने बयानबाजी भी की, और मुझे ऐसा लगता है जैसे ये पूरी पैकेजिंग थी, पूरी प्लान्ड और मैन्युफैक्चर्ड पैकेजिंग थी ये, जिसके कारण कि हमारे पास इतना समय ही नहीं था कि हम इन बातों का कोई जवाब देने की कोशिश करते, क्योंकि फिर उनका जवाब देने में कोई नई बात खड़ी हो जानी थी। और इसलिए मैं इसको बिहार में जो चुनाव का परिणाम आया है, ये मोदी जी को कमजोर नहीं करेगा, और हमारी सरकार का और हम सब का ये प्रयास रहेगा कि देश का विकास भी किसी भी तरह से कमजोर नहीं पड़ना चाहिए। लेकिन साजिश बहुत बड़ी थी, पैकेजिंग थी बहुत बड़ी, और उस पैकेजिंग में ये सारी चीजें एक साथ हुई। पुरस्कारों का लौटाना, फिर उन मसलों को उछालना जिनका कोई सार नहीं था, फिर बिहार के चुनाव में उन्हीं की पूरे समय चर्चा करना, फिर इंटॉलरेंस की बात उसी समय पर करना, और इस सब की पैकेजिंग पूरी साजिश के अंतर्गत हुई है।
एक सवाल है कि आपने भी कहा कि बीजेपी के कुछ नेता जैसे शत्रुघ्न सिन्हा, आर.के. सिंह जैसे नेताओं ने भी बयानबाजी की, पार्टी के विरोध बयानबाजी की। आपको लगता है ये सही है और पार्टी को कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए?
मैं मानती हूं कि बिहार के चुनाव को प्रभावित करने के लिए शत्रुघ्न सिन्हा जी ने उस समय पर बयान दिए और उस पैकेजिंग के वो बयान हिस्सा बन गए, और पार्टी निश्चित रूप से कार्यवाही करेगी। हमारी पार्टी में सब वरिष्ठ लोग बैठे हुए इन सब चीजों को देख रहे हैं। मुझे नहीं लगता कि मुझे कोई सुझाव देने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि उस पैकेजिंग का कोई हिस्सा रहा हो तो कार्यवाही तो होगी ही।
दीदी, आरक्षण के मसले पर जिस तरह से मोहन भागवत जी ने बयान दिए, कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि ये बयान बिहार चुनाव में बहुत नुकसान कर गया बीजेपी को। आपको लगता है, या फिर सही तरीके से बीजेपी ने उस बयान को नहीं अपने कार्यकर्ताओं तक ले गए? क्या वजह आपको?
माननीय वैद्य जी का भी एक बयान आ रहा था, मैं देख रही थी कि हमारे बयान मतलब संघ के वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों के जो बयान होते हैं वो चुनाव की दृष्टि को रख करके नहीं होते हैं। और आरक्षण के बारे में कर्पूरी ठाकुर ने तो बहुत पहले ये बात कही थी, और ये कर्पूरी ठाकुर फार्मूला ही ये माना जाता है जिसकी राजनाथ सिंह जी ने मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पर घोषणा भी की थी कि अति पिछड़े और अति दलित को सबसे पहले लाभ मिलना चाहिए अब आरक्षण का, क्योंकि अब इतने साल हो गए हैं तो दलित और पिछड़े वर्गों की बहुत बड़ी संख्या है जो इससे उबर गई है, और एक बहुत बड़ी संख्या है जो अभी तक इसका लाभ नहीं ले पाई है। तो इसलिए इस पे अब इनको कैसे लाभ मिले इसके बारे में सोचना चाहिए। तो मुझे नहीं लगता है कि इसका कोई प्रभाव कहीं पड़ा है, लेकिन हाँ कोशिश यही।
All the parties have responsibility to interpret the verdict of the people, to enable proper functioning of the parliament during the coming session of the parliament. Bihar verdict is a clear statement of their aspirations. It should not be interpreted as a mandate to obstruct parliament.
All right, you heard Uma Bharti there. Very interesting take, very interesting take. A firebrand herself being critical of hotheads, very interesting. Then Venkaiah Naidu, he spoke a bit earlier, speaking about how the opposition should not interpret this mandate as a mandate to obstruct parliament. Iknoor, my colleague, is there at the BJP headquarters where this meeting is taking place. Iknoor, we know the brass is inside. But I understand several meetings have been taking place there since the morning with organizational secretaries, with lower level cadres. There has been much activity happening in the run-up to this meeting. Brief us about what's been taking place, Iknoor, before I go back to Karthik.
Yes, indeed. In fact, several meetings have been taking place. One, of course, one of the most important meetings that one can really point out at this point in time is the meeting between Amit Shah and RSS, of course, where he assured the RSS chief that he's not, his statements were, of course, not responsible for the law. So we do know that the likes of people like Manjhi and Hukum Dev, in fact, have come out openly and said that it were the statements that came up from the RSS chief were the ones which actually really damaged NDA's chances during the Bihar elections. But this meeting today morning, which took place, of course, between Amit Shah and the RSS was regarding this, where he, of course, assured him that he was not responsible. The meeting, of course, now taking place. There are several things that will be discussed. Crucial, of course, decisions that need to be taken. And we've seen through the day there's been a lot of activity in the party.
Stay rooted there, Iknoor, because we'll be coming to you as this meeting is winding down.
There will be some serious issues that will be discussed.
Let me go back to Karthikeya. Karthikeya, the meeting will happen. And we understand there will be a press statement, but of course the inner workings will come out much later. But the question I was trying to get you on, Karthikeya, was that if the winter session of Parliament coming up in 2 weeks is not the golden goose, very unlikely to become a golden goose for this government where transformative accommodation will be done by the opposition, we don't see that happening. What other options does the government have to change the discourse, change the narrative, make it about deliverance, make it about the Delhi model overriding the Gujarat model for a change?
You see, first thing which will be very, very acrimonious in the parliament will be the debate on intolerance. This debate will be carried out in the both houses. And if they don't admit the debate, the parliament will not function. Secondly, the government will have to concede some points to the opposition on GST. There are 2 amendments. They will have to go for that. Because GST can only be passed when you allow opposition parties to claim the credit of passing it. What had happened was that both the bills got amended and passed as an ordinance, and BJP took the credit of saying we amended bills and they were not in proper order. But obviously, this didn't cut any ice with the Congress and the opposition. So you will have to learn to share the credit. And lastly, I think opposition will also need to give some breathing time to the Prime Minister to bring back economy on track. And for that, what you require, as Priya was saying, you need some chemistry. The PM and Sonia Gandhi need to talk. You know, I had seen so many times Arun Jaitley and Sushma Swaraj going to Sonia Gandhi's room, or Sonia Gandhi's secretaries going to Arun Jaitley's room to talk. If you don't talk, you cannot run the parliament. It cannot be a victim of someone's hubris.
Okay, all right. But again, Priya, if in
Sonia Gandhi's room, or Sonia Gandhi's secretaries going to Arun Jaitley's room to talk. If you don't talk, you cannot run the parliament. It cannot be a victim of someone's hubris.
Okay, all right. But again, Priya, if indeed it does get stuck, as it often does get stuck, because as much as the opposition would like us to believe that they have India's interests best in heart, they also have political interests, and the political interest is not to see the government succeed and take away credit for everything. So if parliament is not happening, ordinances are not happening anymore, that path has been shut out now after massive outrage. What other options does the government have to change the discourse other than the Wembley party?
Now, the Wembley party, of course, is going to be all about Narendra Modi. That's not going to get the opposition in a very good mood. But especially, yes, if he doesn't criticize the Congress on foreign soil this time, that would be step one towards some goodwill. But I agree with what Karthik said. He has to share the credit for the legislation. That is the only thing that's going to get everybody on board. You cannot say this is my bill versus your bill. Today, the Congress is saying, it was our legislation. That's not how it's going to be. You have to, for that, you need an all-party meeting. Rishabh, the Prime Minister has not attended a single all-party meeting. These meetings are either attended by Arun Jaitley or Venkaiah Naidu. The Prime Minister needs to come and attend. If I remember Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time, there were constant all-party meetings happening. He was meeting with his allies. He actually presided over all-party meetings. That is something that needs to be done. Narendra Modi himself has to sit on that table.
But there's a temptation, and before I go back to Chandan Yadav on this, there's a temptation, Karthikeya, to go to all these public gatherings, whether it be in San Jose or in New York or in Sydney, and talk about the Bhrashtachar and the Dama. The temptation exists because it's wildly popular. It always is greeted with cheers and roars. Surely talking about GST is not as widely popular as talking about 1,000 crore for Beti and Damad.
He can talk about Make in India.
Okay, so how do you break away from that discourse?
Rishabh, I'll take Priya's points forward. She made a pertinent point. That can be a good beginning by not taking the name of Gandhi's or the Congress party in foreign soil. He's going to be in Paris, he's going to be in England, and he's going to have a meeting with diaspora. But taking that line forward about not talking about internal political discourse on foreign side, Prime Minister also needs to realize that he is the Prime Minister, he has won the election. The conquest mode must come to an end. It is a reflection of a conquest mode. It's a reflection of constant campaigning. This has to come to an end. It is breeding a lot of acrimony in the system. When Vajpayee won the election in 1999, there was no hectoring. You had a very benign gentleman at the top, all encompassing. And people remember him so fondly for this reason only.
Okay. So if, again, and I appreciate Chandan Yadav that again, you don't hold a brief for making these decisions. You're here to represent the party stand as you understand it. But if again, there is an outreach here, the barbs reduce a little bit. The Prime Minister chooses to go to London and Paris and not be talking about the Damads and the Betis. And we end up in a situation that an outreach effort is being made by this government. Will you and your party ask for a pound of flesh, or will you do in the good stead of this country, hold out a hand also?
See, the Congress party is not at all perturbed or disturbed by all this.
No, that's not true.
Hold on. But the Congress party only gets hurt. Not they're in power. The law should take its own course. We challenge them, bring them. Why to make all halla gullas and make it a personal issues? You bring out all the papers in front of people. You take action. Law should take its own course. Unnecessarily making it an issue, personal issue, that this government should not do. Number one. Number two, if a senior leader like Arun Jaitley, if the citizens of this country protest, they say it's a manufactured protest. And when people talk about their judicial accountability on this, they say it's a tyranny of unelected. Arun Jaitley, remember, I can understand Sadhvi Prachi or Yogi Adityanath using all those divisive statements. If Arun Jaitley uses this kind of a statement on a citizen, respectable citizen of this country leading a protest for whatever cause, they have a cause. The Prime Minister, instead of Arun Jaitley, addressing their concerns and issues, is accusing and alleging all
but let's not presume that politics by other means doesn't exist. Okay, hang on. But you made your point. You made your point.
So I'm talking about the approach, attitude of the government which is in question, which Karthikeya talked about.
And one would hope
gentlemanness is not there in this government.
And one would hope that all that was reasonable in what you said, Chandan Yadav, is being heard by somebody from the BJP who's watching this broadcast. Priya Sehgal, Politics, unfortunately, doesn't work in the realms that we would like it to work. It's about give and take. It's about making a deal. What's the deal that can be offered? What's the pound of flesh that can be offered to the Congress? Is it that 2 amendments in the GST bill? What can really be offered to get this machinery rolling?
See, the GST bill is really the only platform that they can come to some sort of an agreement on, and the Congress also has a face saver. You know, it's an economic bill, it's a bill that's been waiting in the wings, and a bill that everybody kind of agrees that it is something that will be good for the country. Now, only the little nuts and bolts need to be sorted out, and the amendments are there in place, as Karthik said. So why not, you know, give it to them and make it sound, have an all-party meeting on this. Do not do it with an ordinance, do not rush it behind the scenes. Have an all-party meeting, come on in the same platform and announce it as a collective decision. I think that would send the right message of collective governance, because, you know, when Prime Minister Modi came and addressed the Lok Sabha in his first speech, he talked about inclusive governance, taking everybody along. But for this, it's not just the BJP. I have to say, it is, you know, you're going to have this opposition emboldened by the win. They're going to be in an aggressive mood. And, you know, what BJP leaders tell us, they say, we are very happy talking to Kamal Nath, Chidambaram, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Kharge, but these are not the guys making decisions in the Congress. That making decisions is done by 2 people, Rahul and Sonia. And they don't talk to us. So that, the Congress has to come halfway also.
So how much of the wind are you getting from the Congress ranks? Stuff that, of course, Chandan Yadav can't tell us. But let me, I can ask
leader of
Karthik on this.
opposition is Ghulam Nabi Azad in Rajya Sabha. And the leader of the Congress
he doesn't
party
take
is
the
Malik
decision.
Sir.
Who are you fooling now? Come on, it's the
But
Sonia and
we have
Rahul.
we have a proper
I'm
structure
sure
for a
even
decision
Chandan Yadav will
making.
not say that these 2 individuals are the final authority in the Congress. Let's not go down that route. That's not the
Obviously,
debate.
they are the leader,
We're not
president and
discussing
vice
we are not
president.
discussing
Press
the
brief
leadership of the
session, what's the
Congress here.
discussion here?
That's not the point of debate. Karthik, but how much from the people within the Congress that you're speaking to, how much are they scenting blood here? Are they been waiting for comeuppance in frustration for 18 months and they're saying this is the opportunity, go for it? Or are they also being reasonable at suggesting that this is not the great victory that the Congress hopes it was?
I think they have smelled blood. You know, I will not say that, you know, they will use this session and there will be a lot of cordiality. No, it's not going to be like that. It's the first time that the Congress is on, I would say, some high note. Delhi, they got 0. The only happiness they could get was that the BJP got 3 and Aam Aadmi Party was the king. Here, after 1990, you will have first Congress ministers in Bihar. See the sense of history. After 1990, after Bhagwat Jha Azad demitted office as the last Chief Minister of Congress, you will have Congress ministers in Patna. 25 years. So obviously, the Congress is on a high note. But I would say, as Priya was saying, there has to be sort of a meaningful talk between the Prime Minister and the Gandhis. Unless that happens, nothing will move in Parliament. Because Parliament works on chemistry. It is about bipartisan, people-to-people contact. I have not seen once Prime Minister Sonia Gandhi in Central Hall talking. Not once.
So in the
I have
course
not
of
seen
this
any
discussion,
senior leader with Rahul Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi with any other senior leader in Parliament Central Hall. Central Hall was a place for this. It is an institution only for this, and Priya can elaborate on that.
Okay, so in the course of the discussion we've been having for the past hour and a half, we're crystallizing it to a few issues, because in the end, yes, there is a verdict from Bihar, and of course, yes, the government in Bihar has changed, but the problems of this country haven't changed. And the people who need to deliver on those are still much the same. Yes, Nitish Kumar is back in Bihar, but the government at the center still needs to look at the country at large, and a lot of deliverability needs to be done. 600 million jobs is not a joke, and that is a population that's younger than me in this country. Let's not forget that. IGNOR is still there. Several reactions are coming in, I'm told, also from several perspectives and several political ranks. IGNOR, what's happening around you? Because the meeting has been gone on for about 50 odd minutes now. Are we expecting a statement to come out after this meeting? Do you have any indicative idea of who will be giving this statement?
Well, yes, it's been nearly about 15 minutes since the Prime Minister arrived over here and the meeting began. We, of course, we are, in fact, being told that there will be somebody who will come and, of course, give us a sort of a brief statement regarding what really took place inside the meeting. Of course, the main details would be given, not the ones regarding the kind of discussions that are taken, because we do know that there will be some sort of a decoding that will take place in this entire meeting about the Bihar elections. Of course, keeping in mind the fact that the BJP, of course, is looking now at in the next 2 years at some very crucial state elections, and they are.
Yes, so we'll wait on for that press conference. Just hold on. Just hold your thought over there. Just hold your thought. Priya wants to come in. Priya, I want you to explain to our viewers for a second. This is a meeting of a collective that despite variances and issue that Sushma or someone might have, this is not going to be a hot... Priya, I want you to explain to our viewers for a second. This is a meeting of a collective that despite variances and issue that Sushma or someone might have, this is not going to be a hot debating session where they're going to say, no, this did it, no, this did it. This is going to be individuals who are going to be reading out, I presume, what they think the issues were.
Yeah, it's going to be issues and not personalities. They're not be finger pointing in this kind of a meeting. That won't happen today. But there will be issues. They will, they will probably say when the discourse went badly, whether it was Dadri that was the turning point, or whether it was the reservation statement is off the table anyway. That has already been made clear. So they're going to be basically discussing the election, analyzing it, but academically. It's not going to be no names are going to be mentioned, no finger pointing per se. But you'll have to read between the lines, because people at the table at the end of the day, as you pointed out, people like Sushma and all, there is that inter-party rivalry happening, and there are people who are contenders for Amit Shah's job. Should he be asked to quit, or should some, he be held accountable?
But in realistic terms, that's not happening, Karthik. In realistic terms, a man who's delivered a mandate at the Lok Sabha, a man who's delivered multiple states, including a very, very difficult Jammu, or most of Jammu at least, that man's not going anywhere.
Priya has actually touched upon a very hard issue. She took neighbor, she spoke about the people, the people who are there. Have you seen any foreign minister not speak to the press for 1.5 years, one-to-one interview? Has that ever happened? You have to understand that there are other issues which will come into play because of
which
Bihar.
got nothing to do
There are
perhaps with the Bihar
intra-party
performance.
issues
Okay.
which have nothing to do with Bihar, but they are going to surface because of Bihar.
Yeah, we'll have to read the lines.
That
Yeah.
is
So
the real
let's be
issue.
clear, again, just for our viewers who don't, and we don't, have a year in on this meeting about what is expected to be happening. This is going to be a group of leaders. Some of them might have a few caustic remarks to make, but they're going to be reading out what they think their issues were. This is not going to be a hot debating match and finger pointing. That's not what's happening at this meeting. A more seasoned meeting is going on right now, and hopefully somebody will give a statement which will give us a pulse at least of what the decisions have been made. Because several of the party spokespersons that have been speaking out since morning to this broadcaster have been talking about the Prime Minister's narrative of development being changed by lower ranking members. That is something that has become pretty obvious, that if party spokespersons are talking about it, which means central leadership is in unanimity about it. I'm going to come back to you, Karthik.